In the era of the internet, it seems like we can no longer be amazed by anything. However, there are still so many incredible things in the world that can evoke genuine emotions. Welcome to the TopFacts channel, and today you will see 15 unique videos that will definitely make you marvel. Well, are you ready? Then let's not waste any time. We're starting, here we go. Elephant aggression. Elephants are generally peaceful animals. Their only enemies are predatory cats, and otherwise, they have little to fear. Nevertheless, the 5-ton animals often encounter African buffalo that encroach on their territory. If the uninvited guests behave too casually on foreign land, the elephants go into berserk mode, smashing everything around them. Then the hooved animals have no choice but to run to avoid being trampled by the largest animals of the dark continent. Flying fish. Perhaps everyone knows about the unique species of flying fish, but in the United States, the situation with them is quite different. For the past 20 years, 35,000 fish have been dropped into lakes from airplanes in one flight during the fall season. Why? We'll explain now. Unfortunately, the terrain of the United States is uneven, and the climate has changed significantly recently. Many schools of fish are no longer able to swim upstream, remaining in their habitats year-round. This has caused problems for predators, for whom fish are a primary food source, as well as for the marine inhabitants themselves. Thanks to these flights, the fish population in the lakes has stabilized. However, without regular support, everything could quickly return to the initial critical point. The most expensive cocktail. What's the most expensive cocktail in the world? There are those with gold, rubies, and even diamonds. And then there's one with a human finger, quite literally. Canada's highlight is a drink called the sour toe, which, according to legend, must touch the drinker's lips. The price for such a cocktail with a part of a toe is $200, but if the toe is swallowed, the price increases 5-fold. Unusual skis. Skiing is a wonderful activity, but for those who love everything unusual, Bavaria offers skiing on genuine quartz instead of the usual snow. In the village of Monte Carlo, up to 35 million tons of this material are mined annually. Some is used for production, while some is used to create new and unique slopes. Thanks to its properties, quartz, when in contact with ordinary soil, gives all resort goers a fantastic bonus. You can easily accelerate to 95 kilometers per hour on such a slope, several times faster than a standard descent on snow-covered Alp slopes. Sculpture. They say that sculpture as an art form has gone out of fashion. Ron Mueck strongly disagrees with this statement. For many years, the Australian artist has specialized in creating hyper-realistic sculptures. He focuses on the human body throughout its life journey from birth to death. Ron creates truly massive pieces, for the transportation of which large cargo liners are often rented. He predominantly uses silicone to recreate faces and bodies of people in the finest detail. Creating this baby took Ron 2 whole years, not counting the process of adding natural hair and eyelashes. The new Leaning Tower. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is Italy's iconic landmark. Its tilt impresses many, but few know that there's a twin sibling in China. The ancient pagoda was built in 1079, 700 years later, during festive celebrations. Locals set off fireworks. A couple of powerful firecrackers exploded near the tower, causing it to lean 7 degrees to the southeast. Each year, this angle increases, yet something suggests that this pagoda will remain in this position for centuries to come. Cliffside House. What to do at the age of 35? A group of enthusiasts from China decided to build a real cliffside house. They started by drilling holes in the rock, then built rooms within them, and proceeded with refinement. The guys equipped it with a full kitchen, beds, and even decorative windows. Now they have their own eco-friendly home, with goldfish swimming in the pond nearby. The Old Man and the Sea. The Crater Lake in Arizona is one of the eeriest places on our planet. According to legend, 7,000 years ago, a battle occurred there between an old fisherman and an underworld deity. Surprisingly, the human emerged victorious, and to commemorate this, a massive tree was planted in the middle of the lake. Only a part of the colossal trunk has survived to our days. However, diving underwater raises even more questions. For instance, how has the tree survived submerged for so many years, nourishing itself from nutrients in the 60-meter deep mud? Wonders indeed. The perfect palace. Can an ordinary postman build a marvel of engineering? Every day, while delivering mail, Frenchman Ferdinand Cheval collected uniquely shaped stones in his cart. Determined to dedicate his life to this grand task, he bought a small piece of land. Over the course of 33 years, starting from 1879, he single-handedly, in his spare time, day and night, in any weather, used the simplest tools to realize his dream in stone, an unimaginable palace the world had never seen before. Completing this colossal labor by 1912 and inscribing above the entrance, "May the one who comes after me do more than I," Ferdinand retired. Now this man-made palace serves as his final resting place and an inspiring testament that nothing is impossible. There's nothing better than opening your mailbox and finding dozens of letters just for you. In many cities, this is routine, unless you live in a remote area. A couple of years ago, a young man visited the post office intending to send a message to a certain Catherine Davis. He knew only her name, but despite that, the letter found its recipient. BBC television channel assisted in delivery, as they had interviewed the girl at her home. The power of archives and the theory of 6 degrees of separation worked, as the young man's friend knew people from the television company who helped defy all logic and deliver Catherine's message. For this purpose, a unique complex was constructed deep within a mountain at a depth of 900 meters. In an enormous cylinder, there are over 10,000 perfectly smooth spheres, submerged in 50,000 tons of ultra-pure water. Through a complex system of impulses, scientists attempt to capture neutrinos, a fundamental component of our vast universe. Unusual predictions are highly unreliable, but a participant on an American intellectual show managed to astonish the world with one. Before the broadcast, she drew herself and accurately indicated on screen the exact sum of the presumed winnings, $19,201. What's so remarkable about that? But the heroine, Kathy, that's her name, even guessed her own pose at the moment of announcing the results. The program had multiple episodes, while the drawing was made at the project's inception. Luck, perhaps, but surely you've never seen anything quite like it. At a depth of 600 meters underground, you can find a unique church. All attributes, including crosses, icons, and even statues, are made of salt. Everything inside emits an unusual blue light that simultaneously frightens and captivates. The construction of the facility began in 1815, but during this time, it has only been closed for cosmetic repairs. In a quiet corner of Northern Europe, there exists a true anomaly. A small town simultaneously exists in 2 countries, Belgium and the Netherlands. On their border, houses and structures have 2 addresses, and the people residing in them are equal citizens of both states, with all the resulting rights. Shortest path, 53 seconds. That's how long it takes to travel from one island to another by plane. The Westray to Papa Westray route is considered the shortest in the world. The distance between airports is only 2.7 kilometers, which an average person can cover in an hour's walk. For long-distance lovers, for those far apart and missing kisses, there's already an app called Kissinger that works with smartphones, simulating lip contact using a silicone attachment. It measures the pressure on different parts of the sender's lips to recreate a mutual kiss. While not for everyone, who knows, maybe someday you'll be able to peck the cheek of your favorite celebrity. Sweet rain from a sugar cloud. A bit more romance. You can witness a storm in a coffee cup at a cafe in Singapore. A cloud of sweet cotton candy melts into your espresso like sugary rain. It's a depiction of how the climate on Earth works and how clouds form near the equator. Regardless, it looks really cool, and you can start your day with a cloudy coffee. Winner of the Ugliest Pet contest. Truly a rare sight. Honestly, it doesn't look like a pet. It looks like something completely different. You know what I mean? It's hard to understand why its owner fell in love with such a mutant, and where they even found this creature. For several months, they've been feeding and caring for it, treating it like a pet rabbit, and not sparing Captain Crunch popcorn. Strange creatures outdoors too. These huge snails inhabit the sand on the coasts of Brazil and Argentina. Their relatives lay eggs in hidden spots, but this species drifts in the water, releasing transparent spheres the size of tennis balls, resembling extraterrestrial beings. If the capsules are washed onto the sand by waves, we can witness a beautiful but sad pearl show. People purposely visit Mar del Plata beach to capture it or play with these dense iridescent balls. Sadly, mass die-offs are a threat to the entire Adelomelon brasilianus species. Snakes, less appealing than mollusks. But over 3,000 Chinese students engage in the snake games. Want to see a snake? This isn't an ancient form of a mobile phone or Nokia animation. Real people participate, forming a giant snake. If you fear reptiles, just look away. During breaks, high school students in China line up on the soccer field to play snake games. The school often organizes outdoor events for students to relax and have fun. Now snake games have gone viral. People all around the world are imitating them. To warm up, you don't necessarily need to run. In the German city of Ulm, homeless people are very picky. They don't want to stay in special shelters. To solve this problem, they developed an innovation sleeping capsules. They are warm and safe, accommodating up to 2 people, and also have a locking mode. The project is still in the experimental stage, but there is a suspicion that it will firmly establish itself both in summer and winter. The ancient myth of flying humans is pure truth. Only now, Superman's wings are electric. Witness the world's first flight in an electric wingsuit. People are pushing the boundaries of possibility. Now the wingsuit is even faster. Peter Saltzman, a professional base jumper, first used the world's first electric wingsuit in a jump through the Austrian Alps, reaching a top speed of 186 miles per hour. His jumps made it into the Guinness World Records, and he began his career by jumping from the roof of his own house. These are incredible possibilities for aerial sports. Don't want to shine disappear? This is not Harry Potter's trick, but an invention by British scientists. A shield that makes people invisible. Just a flat piece of metal that hides the person behind it. The Smart Shield doesn't need electricity. It bends light around people using special lenses. Of course, it's not perfect. Transparency depends, for example, on clothing. The lighter and more neutral it is, the better your chances of becoming invisible. Mercedes-Benz created a bio-car that grows from seeds. Mercedes might have gone crazy because the Bio-M concept car is already a reality. The question of what they were smoking there. This car is grown from genetically modified seeds and runs on plant sap. Perhaps this is even too much for a concept car. Bio-M wasn't assembled like normal cars. Its body actually grew from 2 seeds, one for the interior and one for the exterior. The seeds grow in an ultralight biofiber, which is collected and woven together. Want more craziness? Mercedes-Benz has a solution. Special receptors on trees produce bio-nectar from solar energy, a special fuel. Bio-M is made of organic materials, When you're done with it, you can compost it or use it as building material. It easily fits into the ecosystem. Moving further up the food chain, frogs are born to jump far, but to grow, they have to undergo metamorphoses similar to butterflies. Early in the spring, frog spawn appears in ponds, jelly-like eggs, usually on plants or under the edge of standing water. Then, a small tail appears at the black dot, and thousands of tadpoles start their Brownian movement. They are far from being adult frogs, and it will take weeks before they can make their first jump, if they're lucky, and no one eats them. You can tolerate frog croaking, but bird cries. Strange birds inhabit South America. Bellbirds. Their voice is so loud that it drowns out the bison's roar and the howls of howler monkeys. The modest white finch becomes the loudest singer during the breeding season. The male's call is 3 times louder than the brightest bird voices. Moreover, males strive to deliver the song directly to the chosen female's ear. It's unclear how their hearing withstands it. It's more likely to repel than attract, which could negatively affect sexual selection. But what a voice! The best neighbors are fish. Perhaps this is the most unusual aquarium or the strangest drum set, and yes, you can play on it. The fish haven't complained so far. Creative projects are sometimes absurd in their manifestations, but maybe this drummer didn't have any other place for an aquarium in the apartment. Maybe this will inspire other crazies to think. You can even grow mushrooms in such drums if you have imagination. And even better when there are no neighbors at all. Panasonic has created a smart refrigerator with voice control. The development of intelligent technology is ahead of reality. According to the plan, it will even be able to move around the apartment, following your commands, without bumping into corners or people. Panasonic aims to make life easier for elderly people who have difficulty moving. It can even move hot food from one room to another, and there will always be someone to talk to. Hey refrigerator, bring me a cold beer, will you? Maybe it can also be taught to guard the house? In addition to weapons, means of rescue from natural disasters are also being developed. This inflatable device will help quickly protect tunnels from flooding. During Hurricane Sandy in 2012, the damage amounted to about $70 billion, and the most dangerous thing was the flooding of the subway. Wind speeds of 1150 miles per hour killed 233 people and destroyed homes in 8 countries. The balloon, like an inflatable plug, is essentially a mesh of liquid crystal polymer fibers, reinforced with polyurethane inside to ensure better sealing. It instantly fills with air and can quickly stop the water flow. Future technologies can not only protect from disasters, but also prevent destruction. These are truly rose-colored glasses. For those whose life is dull, gray, and dreary, they will be perfect. In an ideal future, everyone who uses a wheelchair will be able to buy a car like this, which won't even need to be asked. It will be able to drive itself up the built-in ramp, all on its own. Some, especially curious pets, go crazy because they can't see what's happening around them when they're being transported. In Asia, they came up with a great solution to this problem. All you need to do is put on a suit, similar to a backpack, and place your kitten in it. And how many cows have you seen at once? 10? 30? 50? How about this? 1,300 heads gathered in one place. Active recreation is something that sometimes brings you back to life, charges you with an incredible amount of energy, and makes you see the world differently. This especially applies to various extreme sports. The guys in this video were hiking in the mountains and had to cross a dangerous cliff to reach their destination. They did it using a bridge. Just the thought of how scary it could be there sends shivers down your spine. This mini ping pong, it seems, was invented for kittens. People find it even more challenging to play this version than regular ping pong. It's not just about precision, you also need to calculate the force of each hit. What do you think could be inside? Cottage cheese and salmon? No, I think it's something more interesting. These bread artworks were created by a blogger from Japan. Apparently the secret is in the food coloring, but how it's distributed inside the bread remains a mystery. This is what happens when you love horses and Lego in your childhood. This impressive mechanical sculpture is the work of artist Adrian Landon. He used to create similar static animal sculptures, but then he discovered 3D modeling and created this masterpiece. Shark births. I think very few people can even imagine how it looks. It seems I stumbled upon some rare footage. A regular fisherman was sailing on his boat in the sea and accidentally came across a shark. The shark was quite large, so it was a successful day. But when the guy brought the shark on board, not one but 2 shark pups came out of it. It's a truly amazing phenomenon that few people could have imagined. The man didn't part with his catch, but he did release the small sharks back into the water. Everyone is expanding the screens of their computers diagonally. But what if I tell you that many users claim that an inverted monitor is much more convenient for everything related to browsing web pages, reading articles, checking Twitter, except for gaming? What do you think about this? Several people were excavating in hopes of finding something valuable. They had found nothing all day, but they couldn't have imagined what they would uncover in just a few hours. One of the guy's shovel hit something solid. After digging a bit, they thought it was a freshly buried person. But as it turned out later, this monument was thousands of years old. It's unclear whether it's a representation of a real person or some sort of ancient remains. An American company has freed poor children who used to fetch tennis balls for athletes during competitions. They solved this problem by inventing a robot that will do this job and be helpful during training sessions. Has transparency always bothered you? Then take a look at glass bathrooms and living rooms. They're stunning. Turns out we didn't know much about them. Did you know that the gates of hell actually exist? At least the following place looks insanely similar to it. The burning gas crater in the town of Darvaza, known as the Gates of Hell, located in the Karakum Desert about 260 kilometers north of Ashgabat, is a Turkmen landmark that attracts the attention of scientists and tourists. In 1971, Soviet geologists discovered a concentration of natural gas in this area and, after drilling a well, caused a collapse. The upper layers of soil collapsed into an underground cavern, creating a large hole filled with gas. To prevent the gas from poisoning people and livestock, the geologists decided to set it on fire, believing that the fire would extinguish over time. However, the burning gas continues to burn to this day. Skeptics. If UFOs don't exist, how do you explain this? In reality, this can be explained through science. This phenomenon is known as a light pillar, and it occurs during sunsets or sunrises due to the reflection of light from ice crystals. However, this rarely happens in the tropics, which is why this video recorded in Thailand raised many questions. Not everyone deals cards as cool as this main character. In Asia, as usual, people found a solution to this problem. They developed amazing machines that do it all for you. However, this device probably won't work with such cards. So, my friends, these were the most incredible things you will see for the first time in your life. If you enjoyed this episode and want to see something similar, please write your comments, give it a like, and subscribe to the Top Facts channel. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.